So the stream begins, checking out the streaming health of this situation right here. Welcome to a Q&A type video, whatever you guys are interested in type of video. And I'm going to try and keep it to about a half an hour because my idea is to make it watchable for people who are watching it later. And when they see that like 45 minutes, an hour and a half length of a video, they get kind of freaked out and they don't watch it. So here I am. Hello, everybody. I see you. It's great to be here. I basically, like I was saying, I just want to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I had some earlier on questions like about bone broth and about carnivore diets and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. If you guys want it to be, we can talk about whatever you want. So, of course, I knew someone would be like, you need to talk about the vegetable police immediately. We'll mention him in a little bit. We got a chlorella question right now. And I figure while you guys are just popping in, I'm going to go ahead and talk about one of the... Oh, someone from Jamaica. Sorry for the distraction. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about one of the questions that I got about bone broth and the kind of myth that I've seen lately, because I did make a bone broth video. And I talked about, how collagen breaks down in digestion. Hi from Iowa. I'm in Iowa too, in case you didn't know that. Anyway, so basically I talked about that and people sort of responded, and I've gotten some recent things. Even this was under a vegetable police video, actually, because he was talking about doing bone broth where, there are peptides in bone broth, and so they're a chain of amino acids that you can digest and absorb, and therefore it's really easy to make collagen. And so I want to debunk that a little bit really quickly right now. So we'll start off with a quick debunking of that. And that comes down to this page right here, which I will switch you over to. And that is the Colorado State write-up about the absorption of amino acids and peptides. And it says right here, absorption of peptides. There is virtually no absorption of peptides longer than 4 amino acids. Now, guess how many amino acids are in... I want you guys to guess really quickly. How many amino acids are in collagen? How many, sequence of it? How many? Guess. Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it a trillion? So, guess right now. No one's guessing. That's okay. I actually get a little bit of a delay. Someone said 4. Okay. So, how many amino acids? 12. Okay, we're getting 12. We're getting 4. We're getting 10. We're getting 21. We're getting 20. Okay, so you can't absorb more than 4. So let's have some fun with it. Everybody has been under 24 right now. 100. Octo knows what he's talking about, or she's talking about. So here is what collagen looks like. Can you see that right now? Oops, I'm opening Photoshop accidentally. It is, hopefully I'm switching over. Is it going to switch over? This is collagen, and it is literally hundreds long. Each one of these little codes represents the whole amino acid. And so we are looking bing, 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 bing. We can count this up really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 24. We're looking at maybe 36. 36 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 36 times. There's 1,000, maybe 800 to 1,000. I don't even know. Somewhere in that realm. And so the idea that you are going to be able to absorb maybe 5 or something, 5 different amino acids in a peptide and then make collagen and digest that collagen is completely insane. And so the idea of doing that, anyway, so I just wanted to talk about that. Do I lift? I do not lift enough. I probably go to the gym twice a week. But as I mentioned in my video, I have gained weight from lifting a little bit of weights and eating more. And I talk about how I did that and all that stuff. All right, so let's hop on to another question really quickly. Can you talk about Ryan lying about vegetable police? Yeah, Ryan, happy, healthy, vegan. Let's just hop into vegetable police really quickly because that's obviously what you guys want to talk about. So vegetable police, for you, those of you who don't know, he was vegan for 10 years. He was sort of on and off it for the first 4 years and then went vegan for six years with the occasional cheat that he then talked about. And so he went straight from a vegan diet to an all-beef clan. He called it beef clan, an all-beef diet, which is crazy, vegan to all beef diet overnight. And so, and the funny thing about vegetable police is a while ago when I was talking about a raw vegan diet, pros and cons, he thought my pros and cons video was too critical of a raw vegan diet. And so you can see the shift that he's made. So he actually made a video about me. Anyway, so talking about the vegetable police and talking about Ryan. So there was a video made by foot soldier, and he went through and talked about, you know, all of the inconsistencies in Vegetable Police, and that's what Ryan saw. Ryan saw that. He doesn't watch any of Vegetable Police's channel, and so he just went off that video, and he still got some points right, but the idea is that the Vegetable Police video wasn't, or the foot soldier video wasn't a full story of the Vegetable Police. For example, like, he made it seem, Foot Soldier and Ryan both, because Ryan thought this, made it seem that when he was cooking whole starches at home, he was like super healthy and felt great, but that according to him in Vegetable Police's recent video, that only lasted 2 weeks. So this Vegetable Police made a recent video, rebutting all of it and talking about how everything was wrong. And my views on Vegetable Police in general, I might as well get into them in this shift, is that he obviously has some intolerances to things, and instead of going and actually getting them tested, he decided to switch his diet to an all-meat diet. And so he's been talking to Goji Man about getting the test for oxalate, salicylase, and histamines, and they've been talking about now he's on the other diet, nothing is going to show up anyway. And so it's kind of annoying. It's kind of like, oh, I didn't tell you I was going on this beef diet, now I'm on this beef diet. And so that's the one part where I do disagree with Vegetable Police wholeheartedly, where he says he never lies. But he went through a pretty decent amount of effort to hide what he was doing. He didn't want to lose his vegan followers, which I thought was like, just be transparent. You know, he went and ate eggs before, well, you know, preaching to a vegan audience. You know, maybe in one video he said over 10 seconds he's not trying to be vegan or something. Doesn't matter. He's making vegan content all the time. He has a vegan audience. He's constantly doing vegan things. And so that was kind of a little bit dishonest, but at the same time, the things that he said, like Vegetable Police versus Foot Soldier. Foot Soldier's video was, I mean, right in some ways, but also wrong in a lot of other ways. And so there's just a lot of drama, a lot of, like, no one's right on all sides. But the idea, and what people have been asking me, is how is it that Vegetable Police feels so good eating all meat, his digestive things have gone away? And I would say right off the bat, he has got food poisoning 3 times. He says he still has the acne and stuff like that. And I mean, it's hard to say, because it's really just an elimination diet. So if there's something that's bothering him, if he can just eliminate it, it sort of doesn't matter what he's eating as long as it's not bothering him. Now, he believes he has a fiber deficiency, which is kind of annoying to me, because there are actually a lot of plant foods where we remove the fiber. Did I say fiber deficiency? I meant a fiber intolerance. So if he claims he has a fiber intolerance, he could just remove, there's a lot of plant foods without fiber and stuff, but he just decided beef is the way to go. I'm going to do beef, and now he says he feels great, at least for now. It hasn't been that long, and this is what happens every time he goes on another diet. He says he feels good, and then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, whatever, he says, oh, I actually didn't feel good. Because he will still say he cured his ulcerative colitis on a vegan diet, and I think that's a huge point, because that is a very, relatively common view, or relatively common disease, and the fact that he did that. Now he had intestinal discomfort, and so he's saying that his intestinal discomfort is no longer existing on his all-meat diet. So he healed a major disease on a vegan diet, and then, now he's just seeing what happens. I kind of am just super disappointed that he didn't actually go through science. I mean, he drank turpentine. He also said that the turpentine thing went away in 2 weeks as well. And so, yeah, let's move on here. I think you got the idea. You got the idea, unless you have any final questions on there. Context, someone doesn't know what's going on. Sorry, I was talking about Vegetable Police, who is a long-term vegan YouTuber who just went straight to an all-beef diet. And so I guess you can watch what I just said when it's posted later. Okay, let's talk about some questions here. Vegans eating oysters, that's not vegan, it's an animal product. I have another video on that. I've kind of gotten to the point where, and it's kind of annoying for people, but I've kind of made a video on like 80% of what people ask about. And so you can just type into YouTube, Mike the Vegan, oysters, or Mike the Vegan, anything like that. And so we're getting a few people who say they're on a vegan diet and they're getting bloating and legumes and stuff. A lot of people swear by doing the soaking for legumes and beans for bloating. And then there's also the idea of just taking peppermint oil. And I have a video of how to prevent bloating on a vegan diet. I also have that. So like every single question is, okay, initial commit. What am I not talking about? Someone says I keep saying I won't talk about it. And there's 1,000 questions and there's no way I could ever figure it out. Yeah, I do have a cello back there. Yes, I'm not very good at it, but I did just record cello on my friend's album, and it was fun. And yeah, you can check him out. I think he's on Bandcamp under Mr. Nasty NASTI, so you can check him out. Opinion on Unnatural Vegan, man, I've gone a long time without talking about Unnatural Vegan, which has been good. I kind of just been trying to stay away from any drama. You know, when I see her and disagree with her, I just don't react. But yeah, I'll talk about bivalves from an ethical sense really quickly. I'll just nutshell what I was talking about. And so they have a nervous system, and who knows, they're probably not fully experiencing every nuance of life and existence, but why would I risk it? You know, they have animal cells in there, they have nerve ganglia, and it's unclear. I have my video where I show them sort of moving around, moving their tongue around. They have a level of awareness, and I just would rather not risk it. I mean, you know, the idea of potentially contributing to the suffering of an animal that probably suffers, maybe doesn't, who knows. I've gotten the same thing, same debate kind of came up around lobsters recently. And the idea is that since lobsters have an exoskeleton, that they don't feel pain, and that's okay to boil them alive. And that is just insane. I mean, the idea of that is just so cruel to me. Even if, like, there's definitely, they sense danger, and they probably suffer in some way or another, and we don't know. And so it's like, why would you be killing all these things? Why would you be killing all these animals? Just on the idea that they might not suffer when you can get everything you need from them. What is my opinion about YouTuber? Ask yourself. Now, I actually went on his Discord and I tried to go on like yesterday and I wasn't allowed on. I don't know if it was because it was hopped or because it was hacked. Because it was hopped. Because it was hacked, I wasn't allowed on or whatever. I don't know. I just know that he's like kicked a lot of people off and gotten mad at a lot of people recently. So I don't even know if he like got mad at me or not, which is kind of a precarious place to be. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's fine. Could be totally cool. Yeah. So let's look through these. Yeah. Boiling lobsters alive is not good. Yeah. UK Parliament ruled that animals don't feel pain. Well, what about the Cambridge Declaration on Consciousness? That was all of the most esteemed people going to the UK, you know, neurobiologist, neuroscientist, Stephen Hawking, I would say, was there, and they decided that animals were, in fact, conscious. So Parliament is one thing, and all the scientists are the best. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. All right. Do you know any good sources of selenium? I believe Brazil nuts is the source of selenium. You barely only need to eat like half of one to get selenium. And that's like if you want to be completely sure you're getting as much selenium as you would ever need. Chicago vegan, hey, I'm going to Chicago today. Actually, another reason I'm cutting this off at 30 minutes in addition to, you know, making people want to watch it and not be intimidated by how long it is. I'm actually leaving in 15 minutes for Chicago and then Canada to do a vegan retreat, a chill out week in Magnetawan, 3 hours north of Toronto. And so I'm stoked about that. I'm going to go there. I'm actually going to go to Toronto and meet up with a lot of people like Aaron Janis and Sonia Say and Vegan Gains. We're going to have dinner, which is going to be pretty awesome. Even Tofu Goddess is going to be there, which will be great. And yeah. Oh, it was hacked and 75% of the server got banned, talking about Ask Yourself. So yeah, it probably wasn't him blocking me. It was more of just whatever. It was more of just getting hacked. Mike's beard is selenium rich. Check this out. Beard on board. I live in Iowa, which is the middle of nowhere. What do I know about acrylamide? So acrylamide is a somewhat toxic byproduct that can happen when you cook potatoes at a really high temperature. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't cook super high temperature potatoes all the time. And so I don't worry about it. And it's probably not a good idea to be eating them 3 times a day. But I would venture to say that the sheer amount of carcinogens and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons and stuff that you're cutting your exposure of by being vegan, it's one of those things I just don't worry about if I was going crazy. Yes, almond breeze. Let's talk about this for a second. Almond breeze, apparently, they found some actual cow's milk in almond breeze, which is an almond milk, which is ridiculous. My joke immediately was, oh, well, then they can still pass the FDA's definition of milk because they're trying to fight against plant milk being milk as well. And so I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about making an Instant Pot meal cookbook, if you guys want that. Would you want that? Would you not want that? And so, yeah. Do you plan on making another channel on YouTube? And what would it be about? I actually have another channel on YouTube, and it's called Tiny It Yourself, and it's about tiny houses, and I make tiny houses on it all the time, and I don't post enough on it, but I do. I've sometimes thought about making like a kind of like a crappy channel, and just like whatever, like just posting stuff that I would never post on this channel. Like I'm actually converting a motorcycle to electric right now. And I'm filming it, and it's a really cool process. I'm getting like Nissan Leaf batteries that I reclaimed and all this stuff. And so I don't know. It's pretty cool, but I wouldn't post it on here. So I don't know. Okay, so people keep asking me to talk about something, and I don't know what it is. Vegan gains, being depressed. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him. He's been struggling with depression, and so I really hope he's able to kick it. It's weird because we already get depression in the summer. Like usually that's something I could see happening in the winter as well, and not for him, I guess, which sucks. So hopefully he's gonna feel better. Lol, secret crappy channels. Yeah, maybe I'll just post everything as unlisted on the secret crappy channel, or maybe this channel. So I'll have like a secret Mike the Vegan crappy video upload. But that'd be too hard to find. Actually, I'd like to just put it out there. Do I take an algae supplement? And what is my job? Okay. Do I take an algae supplement? I take it occasionally. I eat a decent amount of flax to the point where I'm not worried about it. But I do follow Gregor's recommendation of at least believing it's the best idea to be taking DHA regularly because it's a good. At least we have the association between higher DHA levels and less brain shrinkage when you're elderly. And so I'm like, why not? It's just an insurance policy. There's no reason you sort of have. It seems like you don't have to take it if you're getting enough ALA and not eating too many omega-6s. So it's just kind of a complicated equation, and I'd rather not mess with it. I'd rather take DHA. So that's why I follow Gregor's recommendation, and I forward that on. Yes, electric bike fit. I might just briefly talk about the electric motorcycle conversion in my other videos, but I'm not going to do a whole video about it. Yeah, kefir, great for depression. I want to make some more cultured things. Like I did the yogurt, and it was pretty cool. But I want to do some more culture stuff for sure. Clams vegan. We talked about bivalves already, so you can go back and watch that, or you can watch my video. Oat milk. Two cool things about oat milk. So I ordered Oatly online, and I tried it. I was a little sad that there was oil, but there's a fat-free version with no oil. It is really good. It's definitely one of the most convincing, just in terms of like sort of like thickness, but not being gross dairy taste, because I used to hate cow's milk when I used to drink it or be forced to drink it. But oat milk has like a good creaminess, and it's honestly it's probably because of the oil they add in Oatly, and I've only just had a little bit of it, but I want to try their fat-free one, which doesn't have oil. And then Thrive just came out with their own oat milk that doesn't have oil in it, and so I'm really curious to see how that happens, if that tastes good or not. Yeah, I want to make some vegan cheese. I want to make like some super cultured sort of, I don't know, artisan vegan cheese, and maybe try and make it kind of sharp and see if we can get that sharp taste, or if that's kind of a result of just cow protein or not. I don't know. And so I have I'm gonna keep saying I have a rare genetic disease called hereditary pancreatitis. How much will veganism help with this disease, do you think? Serious question. Really rare things I can't speak to because there haven't been a lot of studies on it. If you're stressing your pancreas, for example, vegans in the Adventist study had 78% lower total risk of diabetes for both diabetes, and so type 1 and type 2. And so I would imagine, thank you, Vegan Vape, I would imagine that you'd just be putting less stress on your pancreas, and therefore whatever pancreatitis issues you have might get better. That is not my medical advice. That's just my best guess. I would have you'd have to see. I can't think of a reason right off the bat, unless you're going straight junk food vegan and just slamming down the refined sugar and stuff and the oil and mixing that together. I can't imagine you putting more stress on your pancreas, especially with that 78% lower diabetes. I mean, obviously, vegans can still have issues with their pancreas if you look at Steve Jobs, but that's an isolated, that's not the norm. We still have that, again, super low diabetes rate, and that's all about your pancreas. Okay, so going more and more forward. Okay, heat waves. Someone keeps asking about heat waves and thoughts on climate change. I do have a sustainability background, and so I definitely do adhere to the idea that climate change is real. I know a lot of people don't, and every time I mention it, people on my channel get mad, and I argue with a lot of people about it. But here's my idea. Even if you think it's not real, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if you pretend that it is real? You're gonna what? You're gonna make less pollution? Oh no, you're gonna put you're gonna burn less oil and put less toxins into the atmosphere. Like, oh no. And so that's kind of my pitch, and it's hard because I'll even send something from NASA to people who deny climate change, and they'll link things about how NASA is a hoax and how NASA is just a conspiracy as well. And so it's really hard to argue with people about climate change. Yes, and I do love my Instant Pot too, and I will be making an Instant Pot cookbook if you guys want it, and it'll probably be a little bit shorter, and I'm not sure what to throw in. Just really simple one pot super lazy recipes, which I'm stoked about. Thoughts on Crohn's disease and diet. I briefly think I talk about Crohn's disease in my ulcerative colitis video, and we have some good studies showing that even just a vegetarian diet can help with Crohn's disease quite a bit. And I would love to dig that up right now, but I would be, ignoring you guys for 30 seconds. So I'll probably do a Crohn's video in the future. So stay tuned for that. Okay. Mike, I've just been diagnosed with endometriosis, vegan for about a year, blah, 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 advice on food. So I do have an endometriosis video, and you should watch it. I'm about to make a PCOS video as well. And so in terms of being vegan for a year, so estrogen level may be too high. I would probably go to an endocrinologist. I mean, I'm not a master of that. Look for a vegan that you can message, that a vegan doctor would probably be a good idea to go for that, because they'll have experience with your diet. Foods you should avoid. Apparently you should avoid hops and beer, because hops has been shown to be extremely estrogenic and can induce, manipulate periods of women who worked in fields harvesting hops, and that's what they make beer out of. That's the beer flavoring most of the time. And so I would stay away from beer and stay away from hops if you don't already. And other than that, there's nothing else that I could probably give any good advice on that right now. Yeah, 250K subs, 250,000 subs, which is amazing. I never thought it would get to this point, and I'm freaking super amazed. Could you do a video on Hashimoto thyroiditis? I already did, sort of. I did a hypothyroidism video, which you can check out. I talk about Hashimoto's in it for a decent amount of time. Asking for me to reply to Kalel. Tell me what point of Kalel you want me to describe to, talking about being too perfect of a vegan, because she was getting sort of triggered by the idea of being super perfect vegan. That's what you want me to talk about? Yes or no? And thoughts on vegan for candida. I talk about that briefly in my bloating video, I believe, about how definitely staying away from refined foods is the way to go for candida. Even being careful with starches, refined starches like white rice would be my intuition. Again, you can talk to, I gotta get Goji Man on, because he's going for his PhD in nutrition soon, and so I can have him on and say that way, after I say everything, I don't have to say this isn't official advice, this is just my opinion. He can be like, this is what you should do. And so that'll be fun to have Goji Man on. Someone keeps asking about communism. Honestly, I don't tend to get into the areas of government and stuff. I believe that basically every system of government has pros and cons, and it's just such a quagmire to even get into. And so communism, maybe I'll do communism related to veganism at some point, but it's not something I have anything super intelligent to talk about right now, so I'm just gonna chill on that one. How do you keep your beard looking so good? My beard grows way too fast. I have to trim it all the time. I have to trim it out of my mouth all the time. And so I literally basically do nothing. I just try and make sure I don't have weird scraggly hairs that grow out. And then, then it looks okay, I guess. My hair is the problem. I have curly hair, and it's just going crazy all the time. Crazy. Brands to buy for B12. I don't really worry about a particular brand. I just look for one that has, I'm a fan of methyl, but not too high, actually, because in terms of B12, if you have way too much, you can get your blood levels too high. And then when your blood levels are too high, the microbes on your skin can stop making their own B12, and it can give you acne. It seems to happen in a smaller portion of people that take B12, but you can get out of deficiency with only 150 milligrams a day, according to a newer study, so I would not go super hard. Here's my email. Someone asked how to contact me. I'll just throw that right there. Thoughts on healing diverticulitis. So diverticulitis healing is interesting. I haven't looked into that, because I know that largely diverticulitis is a lack of fiber to begin with. So you have that lack of fiber, there's not much mass in there, and then you create this massive pressure, and it ruptures out the sides. Hey, Joey Capo Bianchi, I probably just butchered your name. I'll answer your question in a second. Oh, that's not even a question. It's talking about eating peanut butter. And so with diverticulitis, I'm not sure how effectively, and I haven't seen studies on this, that the diverticulitis pockets can sort of shrink again, but I would say the idea is having the least harmful thing in there. So I would be eating, if it were me, not medical advice, lower calorie foods, because it seems like a lot of issues with things like that are just having a lot of energy in a little place. And so if you have a lot of energy, in the food that you're eating, and it gets into that pocket, it could maybe create some issues. That's just what would be my intuition. It's the same thing with how teeth get cavities and stuff. It's the idea of having a really high energy dense thing that creates blooms of various bacteria, things that you don't want, and then that eats things away. And so that could be the same issue with inflammation and various things. autism in a vegan diet is just an area of study that we do not have going yet. We need billions and billions of dollars to do all this study. Why methyl when Gregor says cobalamin? Because Gregor wants people to get the cheapest B12. Because cyanocobalamin will do the deed, but there are some people that have the MTHR-FR gene or whatever, and the idea is that they can't absorb methyl. Possibly, I mean, there's a lot of sort of conflict around that. And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the methyl will work. Methyl will absorb more, but you don't need to absorb more. So cyano will get the job done for most people. But if there's a chance of people having the methyl, the lack of absorbing unmethylated B12, then that's why I say methyl. And the idea is you can get methyl and eat a fraction of a single pill and still be eating the milligrams of B12 that you need to get out of deficiency. Okay, Mackenzie Donahue says thoughts on vegan cats and Kalel's video. All right, I might as well talk about Kalel's video. I think I watched like half of it. So Kalel was saying being a vegan in public is really hard. People are super critical, and like the idea that you need to be constantly worried about everything that was even maybe meant, maybe tested on animals at some point or whatever is just enough to drive somebody insane. And so I think she kind of missed the Vegan Society definition of practical vegan to the point of practically possible. And I think she actually adheres to that, but the idea is she's just taking critical comments too hard. Yeah, I mean, I don't know her at all. Maybe she is doing things that are just not vegan and crappy. I don't know. I watched half of her video, so I'm an uneducated person in this situation. And so I would venture to say that she's just feeling the pressure of like being constantly afraid that somebody might find out that some product that she had was tested on animals at some point or something. And that could be stressful, especially if she's, doing the best she can. Actually, I don't know if she is. So I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt and saying, so she wears silk and others give leather. Okay, so people give her leather as gifts and she accepts, I'm assuming she accepts them. Yeah, she should make it clear that she's not a fan of leather if she's an ethical vegan. Silk is something I want to do a video on because it's really hard to care about little worms. And I definitely don't do anything silk. I mean, I don't think I ever even wore anything silk at all. But that's just not, I mean, it's an animal product. And so, I mean, I would say that she, if what I'm hearing right is that she is like, someone just said she's 95% plant-based, which is not the same thing as vegan. I would say she is most of the way there to ethical vegan, but not. Like, she's still working on it. So I would say she's either transitioning or not, even though she's been vegan for a while. She's still making the connection because she went vegan for health. Does veganism cure ligma? Of course veganism cures ligma. For those of you who don't know, that's a fake disease. So obviously it does. I had some questions back here that I wanted to answer. And I'm going to cut this off in like 5 or 10 minutes because sadly I have to run off to the airport. Okay, so going back. Okay, am I lifting weights and seeing any strength gains? So like I said, I've only been going to the gym like 2 days a week. But I have seen some crazy strength gains in terms of, I've been doing Demi Bagdy's workout. She's kind of like a calisthenics person. And I started doing her like beginner's workout and doing like the leg lifts, hanging on the bar and stuff. And like my lower abs are getting way better and stuff like that in terms of strength. And so I'm getting stronger by just shifting my workout up. I'm not getting like, I've been at the same weight for a while and I'm not working out or eating enough to gain more weight and that much more strength, but I'm getting stronger in different ways. Okay, great. So let's answer just a couple more questions and then we'll go. All right, Gray Feather. Thank you so much, by the way, for the donation. I am a newbie and watching my macros with Chronometer. When I eat macro more than they recommend, 300%, what happens? Should I check 300% of macro? You're just talking about calories or a certain macronutrient? Because the macronutrients are, of course, they're protein, fat, and carbs. And, I worry more about calories and whole foods than I worry about macronutrients. Somebody who is really obsessing over eating like low fat and then maybe eating some refined foods, it's going to be doing way worse than somebody who's not worrying about it and eating all whole foods. And so that's the way I look at it in terms of macronutrients. I don't worry about my ratio as much because I'm eating whole foods. But in terms of eating if you're eating 300% plus one, okay, the problem here, Mr. Greyfeather or Mrs. Greyfeather, is that you have to look at your initial settings. Your initial settings, when you open Chronometer, and I have a how to use Chronometer video, it has a limit for certain macronutrients that are default, and some of them are sort of based off carb fearing and things like that. And so I'd go through my video on Chronometer and I would check it out and see, set it right in the beginning, and then you won't freak out when you see that, oh my God, 300%, I'm going to die, things like that. And yep. All right. So I'm going to just hit 2 or so more questions. Yeah, someone wanted me to talk about cats too. I've talked about cats in my pet video, and my new idea on cats since then is dumpster dive for them. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're obligate carnivores. They can eat an all-vegan diet. They can do it. They might not be the healthiest that they would be, but it's also just not, if you're trying to save the most animals you can and you're not being speciesist, rescuing a cat and then killing 13 birds a year to feed your cat is not the best thing to do. But you could probably feed them, and this is, people might call me a cat killer for this, but the idea is feed them the best possible balanced high taurine, high carnitine, high saturated fat vegan diet most of the week, and then dumpster dive as much as you can. Grab all of the amount of meat that's thrown away is ridiculous. And, put the gloves on. If you care about your cat, put your gloves on, get the meat, get that, stuff that they're meant, I don't even call it stuff, flesh that they are meant to be eating. It's a bad, cats, there's a lot of reasons. Holy shit, someone just gave me $100. I just swore for you because you gave me $100. I really appreciate it. That's going straight toward my video card so I can edit 4K. Thank you, CDN the third. That's the most money anybody's ever given me in a super chat, so I'm very flattered. Buying used leather boots. Buying used leather boots and still being vegan. I just don't. I don't know. It's technically not adding any animal impact, but it's putting animal flesh in your body, and it's in terms of being vegan and not using animal products, it's still using animal product. It's still it's hard because there's a line between promoting leather, faux leather, you could say promotes leather as well, but so that's kind of a bad argument against it. So I would just say no. There's enough vegan boots out there, or make your own, make a vegan boot company. I don't know. I just wouldn't if it was me. I don't. So that's my view. All right. Ethologos, thank you very much. Can you please plug the Phlegm Face? She's going to do a live stream regarding Kalel after you're done streaming. All right, the Phlegm Face vaguely sounds familiar. And so, yeah, feel free to go check out the Phlegm Face after this, because I'm going to be done in about 5 minutes here. And, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, CDN is a Fortnite streamer. I have been playing Fortnite in my off time. Add me on Fortnite at Mike the V. I don't know if that's even how you add people on Fortnite. But I'm not the greatest, but I'm okay. I made it to the top 3 once, and I felt really cool about myself. So I played Fortnite, Mike the V, just so, yeah. So you can play. I won't be playing for the next week and a half, though, because I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be at this vegan retreat in Canada, which everyone should go to next year. It's at Lighthouse Landing in Magnetawan, a few hours north of Toronto. And, yeah, so I am stoked about that. I'm going to be making some vegan cheese. Yes, I'm going to make a vegan cheese video. I mentioned that earlier. I'm super stoked about it. And so I think we're going to call it here. 2 pounds from Ender Rice Plays. Love your videos. Keep it up, Mike. All right, great. Yeah, I am so happy. Super excited. Any Iowa vegan events I might do for anyone who's in Iowa. You might know that I'm filming a documentary, and I wish I had more time to do it. I'm filming a documentary on the pig farming here. Iowa's the #1 pig producing state. And so I'm going to go to the animal sanctuary outside of Iowa. I think it's called the Iowa Farm Sanctuary for part of it. And Magnetawan, fine, I'm sorry. I get everything in Canada wrong. I think I accidentally I mixed up Ottawa. I forgot that Ottawa wasn't its own province or whatever, and that it was the capital for a bit. Anyway, so Magnetawan, okay, fine. I bet you don't know how to pronounce anything where I live. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna give another. I already gave a shout out to that $100 thing, but yes, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. CDN the third, that is huge. And yeah, that's, like I said, the biggest ever. So there's my bigger shout out to CDN the third. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to be in Canada at this vegan chill out thing for a week, and it's going to be awesome, and everybody should go next week. But back to Iowa, I'm thinking about doing a meetup at the Iowa Farm Sanctuary outside of Cedar Rapids, I believe. And it's going to be sort of the finale to filming my factory farming video on pigs. And I'm just going around getting drone footage right now and interviewing people. And so I really hope to finish it this season, but I'm not sure at all. Okay, so if you want to talk, why do so many people feel good about the carnivore diet? That's the first thing that I covered. Again, like I said, and I'm going to do another video on this, but in terms of the vegetable police, it's definitely an elimination situation. Like I said, he's had food poisoning 3 times and he still has acne and stuff, so it's not like life is perfect. But the idea is, I think a lot of people have major reactions to dairy, and it's like whenever they take that out, they're gonna do better. We also have no studies. The blood work looks horrible. I mean, look, remember Sean Baker's blood work of the testosterone of a 70-year-old woman and diabetic blood sugar, even though he doesn't eat sugar. It's just, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. In fact, I think Popular Science just came out with a good article on the all meat diet, and so yeah, check it out. All right, I will check out CDN there now that I'll see who you are, and I appreciate it once again. And I am going to answer one more question, and then I'm going to floor it to the airport to go to Canada. Let's see. Okay, waiting here. I haven't watched the Game Changers documentary. I'm really excited to watch it, but I haven't had access to it, and nothing happens in Iowa, so it's not like someone's like streaming it or anything. Six goofy questions. Okay, yeah. So, do you have any thoughts on the fact that we are so dependent on animal farming for grain and vegetables? My next video that I'm releasing on Wednesday is going to be called The United States of Meat, and I talk about this grain farming a bit. And so, yeah, we're dependent on it, but we're also not. Like, if we stop eating meat, we're going to have way too many, we'll have way too many calories, and we can stop the farming. Maybe economically we're a bit dependent on it, but not. Okay, so last question from Ether Dream Seeker. Any thoughts on vegan mentor programs for newbies? I actually am going to work with the Vegan Society and be inside of their app. I mean, I hope it's okay that I said that. I think it is, yeah. I'm going to be sort of mentoring through that a little bit. I'm going to be mentoring sort of virtually. I know there's the like PETA mentor program, which even if you hate PETA, you're just going to be talking to, there's just a vegan that's going to be helping you on the other side. So that's a good mentor situation. And so you can actually get it, just go on, I think you can just go on PETA.com and just get a vegan to help you, because vegans want to help people. Like there's a lot of people that are vegan that want to help people. They are like lacking an outlet for vegan sort of activism, and so they'll help. All right, so that's it for today. Sorry I didn't get to answer all the questions. I got to run to the airport right now. Again, I'm keeping it sort of brief. I appreciate it so much for you guys coming on. I know a lot of people are like working right now, so they'll probably have to watch this. I know, electric cello blasphemy. My last point, I need to get a real cello because the pickups, or I'll replace the pickups on that cello because that thing is sad. Like, it's really bad. Thank you so much, Anna. And yeah, I'm just going to say some goodbyes. Really, yeah, thank you. I will have a good trip. And yeah, did you read my super chat, Ethologos? Yeah, I did read your super chat, Ethologos. I'm going to try and scroll back up to it and answer it again. Yeah, Phlegmface. Yeah, I mentioned that everyone should check out Phlegmface after this, the Phlegmface. And I talked about Kalel a little bit, and they'll talk about Kalel. And so, yeah, thank you, Ethologos. And everybody go check out Phlegmface. I watch Phlegmface be like, it's totally against everything I stand for. I doubt it. I'm sure they're amazing, so you can check it out. Thank you, Samosa Powers? Are those like Samosa Powers? All right. Knockout Athlete, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm heading to the event in Canada right now. Yes, I'm going to Lighthouse Landing for a vegan chill-out week. Going to the cabin. Just chilling it hard, and so maybe I'll see one or two of you there. Who knows? All right, thanks so much. I'm gonna log out right now, and yep, another great live stream. Let me know, and then for people in the comments on after this live stream is done, let me know what you think about the live streams. Like, oh, watching this later is just like not even fun because it's not live or whatever. Let me know. All right, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I'm gonna stop streaming now. Peace, everybody. Enjoy your day, night, evening, morning, everything all over the world. All right, bye.